the teacher's okay, and I know you hear everybody coughing and breathing behind you, but if you can't see them, it tends to build courage. And so in a class like that, it really tends to help to move up for that reason, okay? And again, harder to fall asleep when you're in the front row. I've had a few people prove me wrong on that. I'm talking and they're right there, like that. But usually it's harder, okay? And you feel kind of more like you have to pay attention in the front, which is a good thing. Okay, so here's the big one for the day, okay? One thing I want you to get out of all of this today is that even though you've been hearing all your life, listening is not the same. It's a skill, just like playing an instrument or playing a sport or anything else. And if it's a skill, then that means you could get better at it, okay? How do you get better at anything in life? What do you have to do? You have to practice, right? Now, if you don't know the right way to do something, you could practice 10 hours a day, you'll never get any better. But if you learn the right way and you practice, you're almost guaranteed to get better. Well, this is the big one, and that is practice. I want you to practice listening. And I've had people look at me and say, practice listening? How do you do that? You go up to somebody and say, go. And then like practice, like how do you practice? Well, we're going to do a little activity now, and I want you to treat this as a real challenge. I want you to have fun with this, but I want you to see if you can do it. It's not easy at all. I want you, let's see, for the sake of time today, I want you to go ahead and number on your paper from 1 to 4, just from 1 to 4. And I'm going to do a little exercise with you, and if anybody can do this whole thing perfectly, I'll be very impressed, okay? What this is called is something that most of you maybe have never done or even heard of before. It's called dictation. And what that means is I'm going to read a sentence to you. And I want you to have your pen or your pencil ready, okay? But one rule during this exercise is you're not allowed to write anything while I'm speaking. That's cheating. Okay, so I want you to listen to me read the sentence, and then as soon as I finish saying it, I want you to write it on your paper. Okay, but here's the other rule. You have to write it exactly word for word the way I say it. Not your own version of it or anything else. It has to be 100% perfect. And so that puts a little pressure on you. The first sentence I read to you is actually going to be very easy. Every other one after that is going to get harder. How does it get harder? Yeah, longer, okay? So it's like I'm taking your brain and I'm trying to stretch it like a rubber band, okay? Having you hold the words in there long enough to be able to then write them down perfectly, okay? And I want to again just ask for total silence during this because it requires concentration. So here we go, and I'm going to only read it once. I can't repeat anything because it's a listening exercise. So listen first and then try to write it fairly quickly, but exactly, okay? Here's number 1. Everyone at the game wore a red shirt. Okay, now that should have been pretty easy. This next one is a little bit longer, requires a little more concentration. Still shouldn't be too bad, but we'll see. Number 2, the power went out due to a big storm last Monday morning.